How'd you like that? Time to rumble! Time to rumble! Down you go!
Karth, you fought in the Mandalorian Wars, didn't you? We may have faced each other in combat. What battles were you in?
I try not to think about my past battles too much.
The horrors of war? My people know only the glory of battle. I'm disappointed in you, Karth. I thought a warrior like you would understand.
I'm not a warrior, I'm a soldier. There's a difference. Warriors attack and conquer, they prey on the weak. Soldiers defend and protect the innocent. Mostly from warriors.
Nice speech. I bet you tell yourself that every night so you can sleep. But I accept who and what I am. I don't have to justify it with words. Victory in battle is my justification.
Justification through victory. So what happens when you lose? You know, like you did against us.
You had us outnumbered 5-1. You had more ships, more troops, more supplies, and the Jedi on your side. And we still made the Republic tremble before we fell.
Nice speech. I bet you tell yourself that every night so you can sleep. I don't want to talk about this anymore, Canderous. The war is over. You lost.
trespassing on this estate? And don't think I wouldn't enjoy blowing you to bits. I am programmed not to respond to threats until attacked directly. I have been programmed to defend myself accordingly. But even if I am terminated, another will take my place. You will still be denied entrance. Leave immediately. Only those on official family business are permitted within the estate.
These settlers have come to Dantooine seeking privacy. Perhaps we should respect their wishes.
Been holding out on this again. Since you haven't given us enough money, I guess we're gonna have to take it out of you piece by piece.
No, please! Take my wife and children instead. Anything!
Wife and children. Sounds like a good idea.
Die!
You asked for this! Yeah? I know!
Here it is!
Yes?
What? What? Huh?
Yes?
I will be your doom! I will be your doom! You are strong. Stronger than me, even in my darkness. I, Zuhani, shall be your death!
What?
You
What?
Achuta, unga kun bistulpi kikuyana. Tom patugas bakteria. Unga kun Una kundelis chingalam. Muchishak bakap. Kieno no dama paoleta kunches tahniki grabul moko. Kachichu itamo dum jedo badowana nidibobo. Dom na bunsha nunya. dihotonga kunhanga. Onakundes chingkachikun idahononga. Ikinguno pamunitong haitwam jijong yumpa. Ditapoe tikitu. Dolfa da bonqualeo. Dihotonga kunhanga. Onakundes chingbalamule. Kachikun idahononga. Ikinguno pamulerat. Runda dihotonga kunhangabi. Onakunbes chingbalamule. Tungking banunote. Kachikun idahononga. Ikinguno pamulerachikun. Simopodona. Dihotonga kunhangabe. Runda dihotonga kunhangabi. Onakunbes chingbalam kachikun idahononga. Ikinguno pamulerachi. Runda dihotonga kunhankabi. Onakunbes chingbalamule tungking banunotek. Muchashak pakat.
Ah, greetings. You must be assisting Master Baluk in his investigation. I'm Handon Gould. Perhaps you've heard of me? Well, I presume you wish to hear my story, then. I shall tell you, of course, but there's not much to it. I'm sure that you'll agree that Rickard is quite obviously guilty of murder. You see, I was out here running earlier today. Yes, running. I do that a lot. Can't stand speeders, never use them. Keeps me in shape, too, you know. Anyway, I was out running on the other side of that bridge there. And all of a sudden I heard a shot coming from over here. I ran over and found this man Calder lying on the ground, dead. And I saw Rickard come skulking out of the shadows of the rocks south of the river. I knew something was wrong. I hit my emergency button and called the Enclave right away. Well, there. That's my story. Now, please hurry this up and arrest Rickard so I can get on with my day.
Another Jedi, huh? Helping that Twi'lek investigate, no doubt. He seems stumped. I'm Rickard Lusov. Maybe you can figure this out and let me get out of here. Well, I was out hunting Iriaz when I spotted one over here by the bridge. I pull out my rifle and aim at it. I couldn't see it that well, mind you, because the damn sun was in my eyes. So I shoot it and it drops. I walk over here and find Handon standing over Calder's body. So why don't you get this whole farce over with and send that whiner Handon to the prison he belongs in?
Sure.
Greetings, apprentice. You must be the one Master Baluk has enlisted to help him with his problem. I am an information retrieval droid. I can assist you by accessing the records of both the Jedi Enclave and the central government facilities here in Dantooine. If you have any need of my services, please do not hesitate to talk to me. I have already retrieved some information from the archives on KotOR, Rickard Lusov, and Handon Gould. I have also had time to examine the body of Mr. Netic. Is there any information you require? These plains are rife with wild animals, not all of them benign. The Iriaz are mostly docile, but can easily be provoked to violence. Kath hounds, on the other hand, are much more deadly. There have been over 35 catalogued attacks on settlers by Kath hounds in the last 2 weeks. A general advisory was given out 3 days ago to carry a weapon at all times when on the plains. Small farms and holdings dot the plains and can provide safe refuge for those in need. Is there any other information you need? My preliminary analysis of the body indicates that he was killed approximately 3 hours ago by a single energy blast to the torso. Is there any other information you need? Very well. I will be here to assist you.
How can I be of further assistance? Injured? No, of course not. Why would I have been? Fit as a bantha. I run. I don't know if I mentioned that. Of course, of course. Listen, if you need anything, I shall be glad to assist.
Itanandayata. Wata yuma wamahuhunandaktik. Shatuni patoga. Wanna kuzbe ching pal.
So, what do you want to know? Well, I kind of sprained my ankle running through the bush before I found the body, but it's nothing that serious. So, what do you want to know? I told you already, didn't I? Was hunting some areas. Haven't seen many in the area recently, what with those cat hounds acting up. But they're still around. Was in my blind a little south of here when I spotted one, like I said before. I shot, pow, went down. But when I come over here, there's Handon standing over the body and the Iriaz was gone. Now, I don't have nothing to do with this, so can I go now? So, what do you want to know? Well, I was out hunting Iriaz south of here, and I saw one over by the bridge. The sun was pretty much right behind it, though, so I couldn't see it none too clearly. I shot, and when I came over here, I found Handon standing over the body, holding his side. There wasn't an Iriaz in sight. I think he might have taken it. Calder must have been hunting it himself, because there was a rifle lying close to the body. Bullock's got that now. Mine, too. I want that back. Right.
Is there any other information you need? Very well.
How can I be of further assistance? Well, actually, I didn't see anything. I was over across the bridge. I heard a shot and came over. I can tell you I was sure surprised to see Calder's body over there. I just got here when I saw Rickard coming out of the rocks holding his blaster. I was terrified. I had no idea what he was going to do, so I hit my emergency button and called the Enclave. Master Baluk came out here with his droid and he started questioning us. I think he really doesn't understand what's going on. I hope that you'll be able to make a more informed decision and get me out of here soon. I have things I have to do. Of course, of course. Listen, if you need anything, I shall be glad to assist.
Kupa che kupa. Runda di hotonga kun hankabi. Wana kun bez ching palamule. Tong haitwam jiji jung lumpa. Ka chi kun ita hot ta kun just tak miki. Runda di hotonga kun. Ka chi kun ita hodonga. Runda di hotonga. Runda di hotonga kun hankabi. Wana kuta kun just tak miki grabel mogo. Kachichu ita bodo jeda badwana ni di bobo. Tong na bungsha. Tong haitwam jiji jung lumpa. Nita poe tikito. Dolpat muchashat pashat. Ki. Kupa che kupa. Gino muliraki. Tong haitwam jiji jung lumpa. Nita poe tikito. Dolpa da bonqualeo gandonan chuchut. Kachi chu ita dundonga. Yumalta kunjus miki grabel mogo. Kachi chu ita bodunga. Kachi kun ita hodonga. Ikin kuno. Muchashat pakat.
So, what do you want to know? Yeah, I knew it. Hell, we've known each other for a good long time. Doesn't mean I really have to have liked the slime ball. Maybe I shouldn't be so hard on it. Especially now that he's dead. We actually got along pretty well most of the time. We just had our differences. We were actually business partners. We were involved in some orbit-to-ground transport operations for Aerotech. Can I leave now? I should probably be the one to give the news to his wife. So, what do you want to know? You Jedi are so predictable, always seeing some greater purpose behind everything, when the simple answer is usually the right one. Can't you see that it must have been Handon? I found him standing over the damned body. I don't know why this is causing you so much trouble. You almost seem as lost as this Bullock guy. Right.
How can I be of further assistance? Well, you see, Calder was involved in some pretty sordid business from time to time. More often than not, I've heard. Disreputable business practices, even more disreputable clients. I've even heard he had dealings with a hut here on Dantooine. Now, I bet you're wondering if I had any reasons to kill the man, but I tell you, I hardly knew him. I saw him once or twice, yes, and I've heard some pretty unkind things about him, but certainly nothing that would make me want to kill him. How can I be of further assistance? I knew him a little bit, but I was not any sort of great friend to him or anything. I never really associated with him that much. In truth, I didn't really want to. He had a reputation. Very inconsiderate of family, I heard. But merely having heard unkind things about someone wouldn't make me want to kill him. I'm sorry, I'm getting a bit agitated. Why must we remain here? Can't you see that Rickard must have shot him? Of course, of course. Listen, if you need anything, I shall be glad to assist.
Is there any other information you need? The Southwood Speeder rental business has records that over the past several weeks, a speeder had been rented by Mr. Nettick and Mr. Gould. Is there any other information you need? According to the municipal authorities near the Garang spaceport, there had been news of violent drunken activity in a cantina attached to the port. Apparently, Mr. R. Lusoff was making accusations at a Mr. C. Nettick about cheating him in a business deal. Jedi Tuka was dispatched to the scene and restored order. Is there any other information you need? My preliminary analysis of the body indicates... Is there any... Very well.
How can I be of further... But I realize this must seem like a motive to you, but I assure you it isn't. I dislike Calder, true. I would punch his face in, given the opportunity, but I would not kill him. My wife was cheating on me with him. I slept in my own bed while I was in the next room. But, as much as I may hate him for that, I could not kill him. It may have been my own fault for driving my wife away. I must try not to take the law into my own hands. I was just out running, trying to clear my head for the divorce proceedings, not stalking him to kill him. Running is not a crime. How can I be of... Of course, of course. Listen, if you need anything...
Miki grabul mogo. Kachichu ita bodunga. Tolbabang kachikun ita hodonga. Muchashak bakant.
Is there any other information you need? We cannot get any more specific analysis from that sample other than the fact it did not belong to Calder. Is there any other information you need? Very well.
How can I be of further assistance? That blaster was stolen from my house last week. I never knew what happened to it. I hardly have enough money to afford a single blaster, let alone another. I can't tell you how important it is to have a weapon on hand with all these ravenous cath hounds around. Even an Irias can take a man down if it gets in the mood. Every settler has a weapon. It's our most prized possession. I would most appreciate it if I could have that back after you determine that Rickard is the killer. How can I be of further assistance? Knock his block off, maybe, sure, but not kill him. Well, not. I hope you don't find that incriminating. You know, normally I'm not prone to outbursts like that, but Calder, Mr. Nettick, he was not a very nice person. Not a very nice person to me or my family. I had had my suspicions for several weeks, but had no proof until 2 days ago. It seems Calder was seeing my wife. Right under my nose, no less.
Well, if you can't keep her, it's your own fault.
But, as much as I may hate him for that, I could not kill him. It may have been my own... I was just... Of course.
So, what do you... Now, I don't love Calder, but we go back a long way. We run a suborbital shipping and transport company out of Garang Spaceport. We've been partners in that business for well over 20 years, and we've been doing just fine the way we are. Right. So, what do you... Now, we've been... Right. So... That blaster? Never seen it before. Calder himself had a preference for Echani weaponry. He had this one really nice light blaster rifle that he always used. Always wished I could get myself a rifle like the one he had.
Echanis make delicate weapons with too little firepower. Lightweight stuff, if you ask me.
That blaster ain't it, though. Calder only had the one rifle, too, so he either must have borrowed that, or it's someone else's. Right.
Is there any other... I am sorry, but I seem to be failing you. I have searched and searched, but I cannot seem to come up with anything at all. I thought to find the record of the missing weapon report Mr. Gould filed with the authorities, but there does not seem to be one. Is there any other information you need? Very well.
How can I be of further assistance? Of course.
Ronda di Hotonga kun Honkabi. Wana kun be Kachi kun Ita Hodonga. Iking kun Mujashat Bakant.
Is there any other information you need? I have just received back an analysis of a sample of the blood found on the weapon. It had been sent back to the enclave just before you arrived. The blood on the weapon is definitely not Calder's. Unfortunately, there was a bacterial contaminant in the sample that had been taken back to the laboratory, and it had become degraded. We cannot get any more specific analysis from that sample, other than the fact it did not belong to Calder. Is there any other information you need? Very well. I will be here to assist you.
How can I be of further assistance? Injured? No, of course not. Of course.
So, what do you... Right.
Tong abong shao. Ronda di Hotonga kun Honkabi. Aku? Ronda di Hotonga kun Honkabi. Wana kun bez.
Hey, what are you doing?
Jidu badawana ni di bobo. Dong na bungsha no nunya. Ta kung just tak miki grabel mogo. Kachichu ita bodunga. Tolobang. Ronda di Hotonga kun Honkabi. Wana kun bez ching palamule tungking ba nunotek. Tugning chatukune tong abom sha uminong.
What? What are you talking about? I don't want that bantha of a wife Handon has.
Ka Kachikun Itahodonga.
I can leave now, then?
Puna! Kavadompa ku palea mujashat pakat.
What? No! No!
Look, so I...
Achuta. Unga kun bistolbe kikui. Aku? Unga diho. Tong abom. Unga diho. Unga diho. Unga kun hankabi.
Hey, what are you doing?
Jita kunji. Unga dito. Ta kunji stachmiki grabelmogo. Kachichu ita bodunga. Tolbabank. Wale oganda naru chuchut. Bogasha ponka bola wana. Kachikun ita hodonga. Unga diho donga kun hankabi. Wana kutong haitwam jiji jumblumpa. Dita poe tikito. Dolpa da bonkwat temi.
Damn both of you.
Ta kunjus tahmiki grabelmogo. Kachichu ita bodunga. Dolbabank. Kachikun ita hodonga. Iking tong haitwam jiji jumblumpa. Dita poe tikito.
You did good. You might just make a proper Jedi yet. Who knows?
Achuta. Unga kun bistolbe kikui.
What?
The Council has decreed you may come and go as you please.
Juhani was a dear companion to me for many years. We spent many nights together alone under the stars. That will never happen again, thanks to you. Curse the Council for sending you, of all people, to speak to her. Could you have done nothing else? Why? Because the Council believed that my closeness to her might do more harm than good. And yet they send you instead. And look what has happened. The Juhani I knew deserved more than this. She deserved more from the Council and more from you. You did not even try, did you? Did it even occur to you that Juhani might have been saved? That she might be worth saving? I should kill you for what you've done. And yet, I can't, can I? I'm a Jedi, and we are sworn to protect all. Even the likes of you. Get out of my sight. The very thought of the Council and of you makes me ill.
Ah. Jitterbug the one. Haku? Muchashak.
Why are you bothering me? I'm here to speak with the council, not some servant. Why are you bothering me?
You have cleansed the grove of its dark taint, but at great cost. Juhani was a most promising student, and could one day have been strong in the Force. Do not dismiss what happened to her, however. Juhani was both dedicated and true to the ideals of the Order, yet she was still vulnerable to the lure of the dark side. Keep this in mind always in the future, and do not forsake the path of the light. Congratulations, apprentice. Or should I say, congratulations, Padawan. You have proven yourself worthy of joining the Jedi. Let me be the first to welcome you as a full-fledged member of our Order. have nothing left to teach you, Padawan, though a Jedi is ever learning. Even the Masters know their training is but in its infancy. Now is the time for you to seek wisdom outside the training chambers. The lessons that yet await you are to be found beyond the walls of this academy. You should speak to the Council, Padawan. Now that the first stage of your training is complete, I am certain they would be eager to have you aid us in our struggle against Darth Malak and the Sith.
I have heard what you have done and how Juhani has been slain. I had hoped that this would not have come to pass. Could you find nothing in Juhani that could be redeemed? I am skeptical of your methods and your intentions, but if nothing could be done, then that is the way of things. Keep in mind the danger of the dark side, lest you fall into its grasp. For good or ill, you are now a true Padawan. The time has come for you and Bastila to investigate the dream you shared. The secrets to stopping Malak may lie hidden within the ancient Dantooine ruins you both saw in your visions.
It is most regrettable that Juhani could not be saved. We in the Council had high hopes for her in the future. In every heart, there is some means of redemption. Could you find none in Juhani? Perhaps that was the case. It is most regrettable indeed. Heed her example. All are susceptible to the lure of the dark side. We must always remain vigilant against it. Your training is now complete, Padawan. And perhaps now it is time we dealt with the matter of the dream you and Bastila shared. When we heard of the ruins in your dreams, Master Dorak recognized it as one of a series of ancient structures here on Dantooine. This one in particular lies to the east of this enclave. We sent a Jedi to investigate, but he has not returned. Perhaps sending him in the first place was a mistake. The Force is guiding you through your visions. It may be that exploring the ruins is a task tied to your destiny. That is why the Council has now decided you should be the one to investigate this. The secrets to stopping Malak may be hidden within those ruins. You must investigate them and find what Revan and Malak were looking for. We do not know. That is one of the things you must investigate. We fear the worst. Is there anything else you want to know? Bastila will be a great Jedi someday. Even among the Masters in the Council, it is rare to find one so skilled in the art of battle meditation. Bastila was there when Revan was slain. Did you know that? Bastila herself does not like to talk about it, but the way...
I demand justice! The Sandral family is a blight upon Dantooine. They must be punished.
The Council will look into this matter, Mr. Matale. You must be patient. Your accusations have no proof, and we do not want you stirring up trouble with the Sandrals if there is some mistake.
Mistake? My son Shen is missing. How can there be any doubt the Sandrals are to blame?
There are other possible explanations for your son's disappearance.
Ah, you Jedi are good for nothing but talk. I shall only wait so long before I take action on my own.
As dangerous as the threat from Darth Malak and the Sith may be, we Jedi cannot simply abandon our other responsibilities. The Council has promised Alan Matale we will look into his son's disappearance. Should you have time, Padawan, you may want to investigate this matter.
If Shen Matale is not returned to his father, it may ignite a savage and bloody feud between the Matale and Sandral estates. We must not allow that to happen.
Your study and training are important, of course, but the Jedi are not a cloistered order. Our influence and teachings must spread beyond the walls of our academies.
It is in the real world that we truly prove ourselves worthy of the title Jedi. You would do well to remember this, young Padawan.
The task has its own importance. It may also serve to divert our minds for a short time, something which carries its own rewards. Yes?
Kuyami juz chikata na patogaya futong haitwam jiji jum lumpa. Nitapo muchashak pakat. Ka chikun ida jedabadwana ni achuta. Wonga.
How can I help? It was less of a dream and more of a vision the two of us shared. But I am certainly willing to answer any questions the Jedi Council did not. With luck, we will. I would rather not rely on such visions to guide us, but when we have so little else to go on, and the galaxy hangs in the balance. Are you wondering why we shared the vision, or why we even received it in the first place? To the first, I can only repeat the answer that the Council gave us. Our fates are linked, and for two as strong as we are in the Force, that amounts to a near-physical bond. As to the second, I truly don't have an answer for you. The Force works as it will, and perhaps we should be grateful for what we've been given. I don't know. Believe me, I certainly don't find the prospect of being joined to you enjoyable in any fashion. Please, forgive me. I did not mean to imply that you were repulsive in any sense of the word. That we shared something so personal is just not something I'm used to. What would you like to know? Perhaps because we desired to. Perhaps because they came to this planet and were strong enough in the Force to leave a trace. They did something important here. Of that, I am certain. Maybe simply that we are sensitive to that event, or it may not. We dreamed about Revan and Malak either because we were meant to, or because we needed to. There is no other way to look at it. I have no idea. It was obviously important, however. That is why we must investigate this further. As you wish. We really should return our thoughts to business anyway. How can I help? Dantooine is a peaceful and pastoral planet. There are few large communities. Mostly what you will find here are ranchers and farmers. I find it a tranquil place like few in the galaxy. The perfect site for the Jedi Enclave. You will like it here. Then I suggest we move on.
Yeah, what do you want? I was one of the best youth warriors in the clan Ordo in my time. No one before me had mastered the power of our basilisk war droids as quickly as I had. Except Mandalore himself, of course. In those days, we were sweeping across the Outer Rim, destroying all who fought us. Young Mandalores would prove themselves in real combat with unknown opponents above 1,000 worlds. Each brought back stories of his achievements. I remember it well, orbiting high above a placid world, its defenses just stirring. As was tradition, I would go ahead of the first wave to find enemies in the thickest fighting. I remember sitting there in my armor, linked directly with a basilisk thrumming beneath me, my heart racing with fear of the coming battle. The doors opened in front of me, and the air was sucked out of the drop bay, scattering crystals of frozen vapor across my path. I can't describe what it feels like to look directly down at a world, falling continuously as you circle it, with barely 15 centimeters of armor plate protecting you. When the magnetic locks disengaged on my droid, I plunged out of the drop bay towards the battle that waited below. The exhilaration, the euphoria I felt as I streaked into the atmosphere, dodging self-guided projectiles and beam weapons, was unmatched. An 80-kilometer plunge through the atmosphere, dodging and weaving, the outside of my armor glowing like the sun with the heat of re-entry. And with barely 30 meters to spare, I twisted and skimmed the surface, firing at the giant beam generators that were in my path. The explosion from that sent shock waves that leveled the entire complex around it. It was the moment of my life. I'll never forget those times. But things are different now. We can't go on fighting the way we did. There are too few of us left now. But I really don't want to talk about this anymore. I trust I've satisfied your curiosity for now. Is there something else you want to know? Your choice. I'm here if you want something done right.
This is private property. You have come from the Jedi Council. Master Matali wishes to speak with you. I will inform him that you are here. Remain at this location until he arrives.
My protocol droid tells me you are here on behalf of the Council. I was beginning to think my demands had been ignored, though I think your time would be better spent interrogating the Sandrels as to the whereabouts of my son Shen. Many years ago, I brought my family here to Dantooine to escape the crush of humanity on the KotOR worlds. Soon after we settled here, the Sandrels arrived, and they have been a plague upon my house ever since. The injustices the Sandrels have committed against the Matales are far too numerous to name. But the Council is well aware of our many disputes. Recently, I discovered several Sandrel droids trespassing on my land. I have no idea what nefarious purpose lay behind their arrival. My own assassination, perhaps? Destruction of my property? Maybe a simple spy mission? I wasn't about to find out. My own security droids destroyed the invaders. Not a single one survived.
At least you're efficient.
It was shortly after this incident that Shen, my only son and heir to the Matali estate, vanished. Obviously, Nurik, the unscrupulous head of the Sandral clan, has abducted my son in retaliation for the destruction of his droids. The only resolution possible is the immediate return of my son. Why does the Council insist on stalling? The life of my son is at stake. Is it possible? Yes, of course. Now I understand. I am a man of the world, Jedi. I know how things are done. I will make a contribution of 1,000 credits to the Council in exchange for rescuing Shen from the Sandrals. I will present the credits directly to you, of course. Whether the Council ever learns of this donation is completely up to you. 2,000? Your greed is outstripped only by your utter lack of any sense of proportion, Jedi.
2,000. Even if you would pay such a fee, what could you possibly need so many credits for?
For that price, I could purchase enough droids to destroy the entire Sandral estate. 2,000 is out of the question. Nevertheless, my offer still stands. 1,000 credits for Shen's safe return. Know, however, that I will not sit idly by much longer. Eventually, I will take whatever action is necessary to rescue my son, including razing the entire Sandral estate. Until you find Shen, Jedi, we have nothing further to discuss. I suggest you hurry south to their estate, lest I take matters into my own hands.
Yeah?
Yes?
Sure.
You cannot win!